Oliver, following his guide Edward, has lost Edward and lost his path as he has stumbled on his own in the land of the fantastic realm. His instincts as a mouse have carried him this far. The water is a challenge as he walks to the right side. He is unsure whether Edward has went to the left or the right, but Oliver must use his own wits as he is now in the land of the fantastic realm on his own. He remembers the face of Edward and is hopeful he will find him soon. Oliver had stumbled off the path, could not find Edward, and he saw just ahead a very strange sight. Strange indeed was the sight. Everything was spinning. Oliver was losing his bearings. It was becoming harder to even take a step, and Oliver began to lose his consciousness and became dizzy.
What door do you see? Who are you? How dare you?
You have entered a forbidden area. Who has sent you? Answer me! Answer me! Answer me now!
Do not be afraid. You seem afraid. I cannot help you if you are afraid. This is not the place for fear. You came for questions or answers, and you answer none of mine. What is it you seek? You passed so many doors, and now you are here. Perhaps you should answer the only voice that you hear. Who are you, and why are you here?
And suddenly, the visage that Oliver had seen disappeared, and he was now getting dizzy again. Oliver felt as if he had never been born, but he knew who he was, and Oliver began to awaken. Oliver started to awaken. He remembered his good friend Edward, and as he stared about and shook his head, he could almost see his comforting face. He longed for his friend Edward, and soon Oliver noticed the sun was shining, and the creatures were about, and it seemed like a little past midday. The sun did seem bright. He could hear the water, and Oliver was still unsure what he had just seen, and was wondering what happened to his good friend Edward. And unbeknownst to Oliver, Quid was flying overhead, practically watching his every move, as he was skillful at observing even a mouse from a great distance. Oliver, it appeared, had arrived to the great fall of Carn. But he was alone, just the way he started, with no Edward and no Quid, or at least Oliver did not see them. He began to walk near the water's edge. As the mouse, the place was extremely large. Every creature seemed to be so much larger than he remembered them.
Stir! Mouse! Creature! You must not sleep
here. It is not
safe. Why
do you slumber
in the middle
of the day? You must
awaken,
little
mouse.
mouse.
You must
Find your
friend
Edward. Surely he
is near.
Surely.
Oliver began to awaken, and now he sensed he was truly awake as he was sensing the air, and he saw the sky between a doorway that did not seem to be real. Whatever the creatures were running from earlier was still disturbing the creatures now. As the large animals began to head west, all of them, the predators and the hunted, as well as the small creatures, were all running from something, and certainly not to something. The danger that lurked was even more dangerous for Oliver, as he was coming in and out of consciousness. He was awakening and going back to sleep, as if it was all just a dream. And so Oliver was drifting in and out. Oliver's acquaintance and something of a friend, Quid, was still looking for him. He remembered how he looked from the ground, and so Edward also was looking for Oliver, and Oliver was drifting in and out, in and out. The fantastic realm that Oliver had sought, perhaps he had already entered, and now he must find his way out. He had apparently chosen the wrong door, or maybe he chose no door at all. But when Oliver awakened, he must choose the door to open next, as Oliver had found the center of the fantastic realm.